You're listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Monday, May 18. I'd like to share some thoughts about real estate. Imagine a policy designed to cool down a housing market, but, it accidentally freezes it solid overnight. Today on this deep dive, we're examining Seoul's structural housing shortage. We'll look at it through two lenses, an immediate policy-driven supply freeze, and a massive long-term redevelopment blueprint in Yeouido, which is one of the city's major financial hubs.
Yeah, and the catalyst for this immediate freeze is the capital gains tax surcharge on multi-property owners. This was reinstated on May 9, 2026. The intent behind adding like 20 to 30 percentage points on top of the standard rate was to curb speculation. But the mechanics of the market reacted entirely differently than they intended.
Right, because instead of forcing owners to sell, it acted like a closing window or, a toll booth where the toll suddenly costs way more than the trip itself. So owners just parked their cars on the highway. The moment that surcharge hit, the listings just vanished.
Exactly. And the data shows just how fast that highway emptied out. Total Seoul apartment listings dropped 7.5% in a single week. And the affluent Gangnam area saw an absolute freeze. Olympic Park 4 listings plummeted 43%, going from 1,013 to just 570 units in 8 days.
Wait, 43% in a week?
Yeah, almost half. And Maple's Eye fell 41.1%, while Helios City dropped 26.6%.
But, if prime Gangnam supply is drying up like that, those buyers don't just disappear. Aren't they just migrating to outer districts and, inflating those prices?
They absolutely are. The market data tracks that migration perfectly. Buyers moving outwards are hitting record highs in places like Yangxianggu, where a Mokdong unit just reached 1.03 billion won, or about $736,000. We're also seeing modest units in Nowon suddenly clear 610 million won, which is approximately $436,000, and 480 million won, roughly $343,000.
That is a massive jump.
Right, it's inflation driven purely by migration. And you really have to look at this through the lens of Jeonse too.
Oh, right, Korea's unique rental system. Just to recap for you listening, Jeonse requires renters to lock up a massive lump sum deposit, usually like 50 to 70% of a home's purchase price, instead of paying monthly rent.
Exactly. So a frozen sales market inevitably means a frozen Jeonse market. When you look at the Korea Real Estate Board Index, it currently shows Jeonse and sales demand at 5-year highs.
Wow.
Yeah, it creates this fascinating paradox. A tax intended to penalize multi-homeowners restricted supply so severely that it's actually punishing renters. With Jeonse options drying up, those renters are essentially being forced into purchasing homes at these newly inflated prices just to secure housing.
Man, so if the existing supply is locked in this tax trap, the only structural release valve to house these buyers is to build new units, right?
Yeah.
Which is exactly why the Sambu apartments in Yeouido are turning so many heads right now.
Yes. They recently released a redevelopment blueprint that really pushes the limits of urban density. The draft targets a 559.86% floor area ratio, or FAR, expanding the complex from 866 to 1,735 units, with a maximum height of 200 meters.
Hold on, crossing a 500% FAR for residential development is practically unheard of. How did developers bypass those strict density limits?
Well, by utilizing a commercial zoning loophole. To achieve that 559% ratio, they actually reclassified 84.1% of the site to general commercial zoning. But to get from a blueprint to actual concrete, they have to navigate a grueling sequence of bureaucratic approvals.
Right, it's a whole marathon.
Exactly. You don't just get a permit to build. The regulated Korean redevelopment process requires them to formally designate the area, form a legal union of current owners, secure permits, get disposal plans for the old property, and then finally complete it. Right now, Sambu is only targeting that union formation stage by July 2026.
And the prices there are already baking in that future value, aren't they?
Oh, totally. Current 106 square meter units there are commanding 3.8 billion won, or about $2.71 million. And asking prices are stretching up to 4.0 billion won, which is roughly $2.86 million.
That's like planting a tree for the next decade. But realistically, does a 5 to 7 year timeline even help today's supply crunch? Because, if you're tracking Seoul's market right now, a project finishing in the 2030s does not alleviate the immediate issue at all.
No, it absolutely does not solve today's crisis. What it does do, however, is give institutional investors a concrete timeline. It represents a generational commercial and residential transformation in Seoul's primary financial center. It's a long-term horizon model, not a short-term fix.
So you essentially have a market paralyzed by its own regulations today, banking on massive commercial rezoning for tomorrow. As you analyze these trends, keep an eye on potential government property holding tax revisions. If holding on to these assets becomes too expensive for multi-property owners, well, that tax toll booth might just get forced back open, releasing another wave of supply.
Yeah, that's exactly the policy tension we'll have to watch over the coming months.
That's today's AI PRISM Real Estate. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI PRISM is a Won I4Ray award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.